Hello everyone, what's going on? My name's the Newbie Warrior, and today I thought I would give my take on the whole Overwatch pick ban discussion, hero bans, protects, should hero bans be in Overwatch? How do I think it would work the best? Just give my take on it, basically. So, really quick, the gameplay you're going to be watching is a stream highlight, so you will see, me play this really weird game on Moira, just a ranked game in Plat. I would like to point out, guys, my opinions on pick ban, I'm not giving them because I think they're worth anything insane. I'm not a game developer. I'm not a pro player, not even a top 500 or even a masters player. I'm a low diamond, high plat player. You guys know that. So I don't think I have the right necessarily to give my opinion on hero pick ban or anything like that. I thought it might be an interesting video to make to talk about. So basically, my thoughts on pick ban come down to this, right? So when we talk about pick ban, it's called pick ban because in most hero-based games, other hero shooters, as well as in MOBAs, which is where the whole concept of hero-based, gameplay with abilities comes from, you look at those games, and typically, there's no hero switching, right? When you are playing Paladins, when you're playing League of Legends, when you're playing Dota, you pick a champion, we call them heroes in Overwatch, and then you play that champion or hero for the entire match, right? So, the idea of a ban and a pick, you basically pick heroes, and generally there's no duplicates. Obviously, Overwatch is different in that we have you can play the heroes if they're on the other team, and you can switch heroes at any time, right? So picking one hero at the beginning is not feasible. So you can't balance hero bans around that idea. So when I say pick ban in Overwatch, I think, first of all, I think that hero bans is a really good way for Blizzard to add depth and strategy as well as create flavor for unique gameplay. So I think that enabling bans to say each team gets one hero ban that is typically voted on or you nominate. I don't know how it would work in ranked. From an esports context, is mostly where the discussion comes in first, because then you can modify it, whatever you need to do for the ranked mode. But the idea being, each team gets to pick one hero that they want to ban, and then those heroes aren't played for the match. Neither team can play them, right? So we're talking about two-way bans, not one-way bans. One-way bans don't work generally. They're weird, and I'm not a fan of that idea. So, but instead of having pick bans, so normally in a game like League or Paladins or something, right? Dota, whatever, you would pick the heroes you want, and then you would have heroes that you really don't want to play against, right? So that doesn't work in Overwatch. So instead, what we could do is have protects. So in some games with bans, each team also can elect to protect a hero. So let's say you are, for example, the Philadelphia Fusion, right? And you know that Carpe is a god tier Widow, right? And you're playing full sky. You're playing, what's a good Widow map? You're playing Route 66, and you know that if you put Carpe's Widow on Route 66, you have a much higher chance of winning, right? So let's say you get to go first. So you say, we're protecting Carpe's Widow. I think you could probably balance this in a couple of different ways. The way I recommend it, at least thinking about it initially to try, would be one team gets to protect first, the other team gets to ban first. So whichever team gets their protect, great. The other team gets a ban first. So obviously, the team that gets to protect would go first. So you'd have a protect for, let's say, once again, we're talking about Philadelphia Fusion in this hypothetical matchup. Let's say Philadelphia Fusion versus the Houston Outlaws, right? So you have the Philadelphia Fusion. So Philadelphia Fusion on Junkertown, they say, we're going to go first. That can be decided by whichever, like, attacker, defender, whichever is weaker. You can have them go first or get to pick between the first protect and the first ban. Something like that. You know, I think there's a lot of wiggle room on that. But, yeah, so let's say Philadelphia Fusion protects Carpe's Widowmaker on Junkertown, right? They get to go first, so they do that. Then, Houston Outlaws get their ban. So, before Philadelphia Fusion picks a ban, then Houston Outlaws gets a ban, right? So Houston Outlaws says, okay, fine. Then we're going to ban Winston, right? Or actually, it's Junkertown. So let's say we don't want them running Pirate Ship with Carpe's Widow, right? So they ban Orisa. Or they ban Bastion, because Bastion is the focal point of Pirate Ship. So they ban Bastion. It's like, yeah, so we know they can't run Pirate Ship. Maybe they're going to run Double Sniper, right? So then, you know, they can run Double Sniper, they can run Widow Dive, they can run whatever, but you know they're not going to have a Bastion, so they can't run a Pirate Ship comp. So then, Houston Outlaws, okay, they got it in. So they then, they say, okay, so we know we're safe against Pirate Ship. So then they can pick to protect accordingly, right? So then they protect, let's say they want Jake's Junkrat. Makes sense. If you're going to run Jake on Junkertown, you want Junkrat, probably. I don't know what the meta's going to be. This is all hypothetical. So you protect Jake's Junkrat. Then, Philadelphia Fusion says, okay, so we can't run Pirate Ship. We know Houston Outlaws can't run the Junkrat, so they're probably not going to run a static defense Orisa, right? So then you say, well, you know what? We don't think Muba can play Winston as well as we can play, as well as we can. So we're going to ban Winston, right? And then suddenly you force the game into either a Rhine matchup or Houston Outlaws has to run Hammond or something like that, right? So what that does is creates a unique game and rewards teams and players who think strategically, and it lets us as viewers watch more unique compositions. Because otherwise in Overwatch, you're always going to see the best 6, 7, whatever. Sometimes, occasionally, in a good meta, you'll see two counter comps that kind of battle, right? You'll have like a super tanky comp and then like the Sombra, like Goats, for example. And for a while, people were running Sombra Doomfist as a counter Goats. So you'll see the comps of battle. But at the most, you see two unique compositions, right? Okay. So what you can do is then, as a spectator, we get to watch all kinds of games. And it becomes a bigger event when you get to see your favorite player on their best hero or the hero their favorite, you know, that they're known for. So that's looking at it from a spectator perspective, right? Now let's look at it from, let's say we've been doing this in pro play. It's worked out for the first, you know, season 3 of Overwatch League or something like that, right? Let's talk about matchmaking. So how pick ban works in matchmaking. Well, it would be a good thing in matchmaking because let's say you look at, and I think for this you would have to amend the private profiles so that everybody can see your top 5 most played heroes or your top 3 most played heroes. Or let's assume we have a role queue or some sort of something in the game, right? So that people know generally what you play, right? So if you're able to look at least what your team plays, top 5 heroes and the other team, right? That's what I think we should do. So even if your full playtime's not available, your top 5 played heroes should show up. Then, as a team, if you have one of those really frustrating games where you're playing 2CP and you're attacking first, right? And you see that you have a Symmetra main, a Torb 1 trick, and a Genji 1 trick. Normally, you get tilted, people are leaving, they're extremely frustrated, they don't want to play that game, they're raging. People are like, well, fine, I'm going to pick your pick because I don't want you to play that. That can be avoided because you say, hey guys, you know, look at the other team. They have a Rhine main. They have a Rhine one trick and nobody else plays any tanks. So what you do is you then say, let's ban Rhine. And then the other team, maybe they look at your team and they say, you know what, that Sim one trick doesn't get to play Sim. So then they ban Sim. So what you've done is you've, one, made it so that you can't viably one trick to the top level of the game anymore. Because if everybody knows, you know, that Fui 500 is a Torb one trick, they see Fui 500 in their game, the other team bans Torb, or you have to use a Protect on Torb, in which case the other team can ban another player off their most important hero. So it allows for more unique gameplay situations. It allows you to counterpick things that are really frustrating for you to play against, right? Or let's say, for example, let's go back to pre-Brigitte nerfs to her damage and CC nerfs, right? Let's go back to the Brigitte we've had most of the game. One-shot combo Brigitte. If you get, let's say you're a Tracer one trick, right? If you can get your team to ban Brigitte right away, guess what? You get to play Tracer now. Cancer meta avoided, right? The other beautiful part of this is that it allows the community to, in some degree, regulate and feel like they have control over the meta. So, Overwatch is a game that's had constant metas, right? Generally, it's not as important as people make it out to be throughout all of the ranks. I think it's overemphasized a lot of the time. But, for example, during the GOATS meta, Brigitte should always have been on your team, right? You can win without her, technically, but, like, you should have always picked Brig. Arguably, you should still always pick Brig right now, but that's for a different topic. But yeah, you need a Brig, basically. If the other team has a Brig and you don't have a Brig, you are in trouble, right? So, everyone can say, yo, Blizzard, this isn't cool. Why haven't you patched Brig in 9 months? What are you doing, right? So then, all of a sudden, Brig is banned every game because no one wants to play against Brig. If there is somebody that loves Brig, that is a Brig one trick, that absolutely wants to play her, that's fine. You have your team vote, you convince them, hey, we can stop this from happening, right? We can stop this, and we can pick Brig, and the other team, guess what? They have to deal with GOATs, right? But then that gives the other team an opportunity to say, you know what? You can have the Brig, but you don't get Diva. So your damage mitigation's all gone. So then the other team, even though they have a Brig now, hey, the counter comp to meta is available. So I think even in matchmaking, there's an argument to be made for it vastly improving most games, right? So in my opinion, I really think that hero bans and protects, one per team, should at least be implemented as an arcade mode on the PTR, somewhere where people can play it, right? And I think that would overall improve the quality of Overwatch in the long run, help with players who are frustrated with the stale meta, help people get a better spectator experience out of professional Overwatch, and overall just make the game better and last longer. So hopefully, you guys can appreciate that take. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm an idiot and I should stop talking about Overwatch and my opinions don't matter because I'm a plat scrub? Yeah, thank you guys so much. My name's the Newbie Warrior. You can catch me at twitch.tv/Newbie Warrior or by searching Newbie Warrior on YouTube. And stay newbie.